Hey guys, what's up? It's Looney TNT. Today we are going to do an Affliction PvP Warlock guide on how to be awesome and how to dot things up and just watch them melt away. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more guides. Let's go ahead and get into it. So let's start it off with talents. Now when you look at my talent build, don't say, hey, this is what I should be using, because there's different situations for different things. In my opinion, the level 60, 90, and 100, all those are pretty much mandatory. Those are cookie cutter, this is what I'm choosing. All the other ones are kind of subject to change and variety depending on what you're trying to do and what kind of style of play that you're trying to play. So, for example, a great example, the level 15, as you can see, the talent that I chose is something that I prefer to give me a heal that's going to help me out. I've seen some people in RBGs run Harvest Life with Drain Life Glyph, and they seem to do pretty well. Soul Leech, obviously, you know, you've seen a lot of people run that. So, it's kind of a pick and choose, have some fun. I like this talent just because it's a little 2-minute cooldown. I usually run with a healer in 3s. So, a lot of times, I'm not the kill target 100% of the time. So, I feel that I'm pretty good with this. This is what I like to pick. Now, for your level 30, Shadow Fury is it's just too powerful. You know, it's not like OP, but it's just too powerful compared to the other ones. If I was dueling or something, Mortal Coil's cool. But, Shadow Fury, especially when you're doing 3s or RBGs, when you can get a AoE stun on multiple targets, it's really, really good. So it's going to benefit your team. That's why I'd like to choose that. Soul Link versus Dark Bargain. I like to use Dark Bargain sometimes just for a complete shield. Soul Link is not bad either, you know, so it's kind of one of those things depending on what you're trying to play, what you're trying to do, you know, you can switch it up here and there. Now, let's go into the level 75, because 60, you know, that's just you use it, sacrifices 5% of your health, a melee hits you, they run in fear. Come on, you know. Melees destroy Affliction Warlocks right now if they can get on us, so it's just the way it is. Alright, so here we go. Supremacy versus Sacrifice, because, you know, the middle one, come on. It's just not utilized, in my opinion, to full effect. It's just not a really good spell, I guess, you know. But Supremacy is a very, very good talent, and I use that a lot. So this is the one that you're going to want to be picking because it's a great spell or a great talent. Sacrifice. Why am I running Sacrifice right now? If you've ever went against a melee comp that cleaves a lot, or a warrior that likes to blade storm, for some reason your pet sometimes just dies. And then if you're not if you're not trying to be real competitive, maybe you're just trying to cap, Sacrifice is a good spell. You know, it's one of those, you don't have to worry about your pet, where it's at, how it's healed. You still have the beneficial, when you sacrifice different pets, you still can use their ability. So it's not like you're not, it's not like you're losing the use of the ability. So I think it's a good spell. 90, obviously, this is what you're taking, and 100, that's what you're taking. So let's go ahead and go into Glyphs. Now, like I said, when you're watching this guide, don't take everything that you see to heart. This glyph right here is just Siphon Life is, you know, one of the key things that you need to pick. Now, I have Unstable Affliction just because I like faster spells. You know, it's personal preference. I just have some fun when I'm playing the game. My Health Stone here, I have my Health Stone, but you can also use your Dark Soul. You know, there's a lot of other glyphs that you can use. Read your glyphs and have some fun and pick them, you know. Like I said, Dark Soul can be replaced with, you know, one of these two down here if you'd like. Probably your Health Stone, you know. Depending on how fast you need your heals or whatever it is. There's a lot of different things that go into account depending on what you're trying to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over some rotation real quick. Rotation is the funnest part, you know, your gameplay. Your gameplay is the funnest part of the Affliction Warlock because it can do so much. you feel like you're doing so little, and then you look at your damage afterwards, and you're like, man, I kicked some butt, right? A majority of the time, you're going to be top DPS in 3s or 5s, depending if on what you're playing with. If you're playing with the Boomy, good luck. But you're going to be multi-dotting, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of spread damage, and putting a lot of pressure on the other team. Now, the thing that I want to start off with, I want to start off with my Agony. The reason I start off with Agony first is simply because I start getting the tick. What it does is it's a stacking ability. So let me go ahead and go up here, Agony here. It will go to 2, to 3, all the way up to 10. And the higher the stack, the more damage it does. Now, if I refresh this ability, it stays at the same thing. So it's at 10. If I refresh it, it will stay at 10. If it drops off, I'm going to have to start back at 1. So getting your Agony on the targets is really important. A lot of times you'll see players that are playing the Affliction Warlock spread their Agony dots first to get that tick and then apply their other dots. And the reason they do that is to get that counter going to be able to do the maximum amount of damage. Because if I was just to put my Agony, Corruption, Unstable Affliction on and then go to the next one and then rinse and repeat, I'm not getting the full benefit of my Agony stacks. So it's always good to spread your Agony and then get your other dots on and then maintain. Okay. So the rotation is pretty simple. You're going to want to go your Agony, your Corruption, your Unstable Affliction, your Haunt, and you're going to use a filler for your Drain Soul. Be aware when you're using your Drain Soul, players will spell lock you, and you will if you look at all your spells are all shadow, so you can't cast anything. Okay, so when you get intercepted or anything like that, you're not going to be able to use any of your spells. So just be aware of that. That's why you'll see some players, just spreading dots and maybe not Drain Souling as much. But man, Drain Soul's a really powerful spell. So let's go ahead and talk about the your Soul Burn ability here. Now your Soul Burn ability is going to consume a Soul Shard. Okay. Warlocks have Affliction Warlocks have 4 Soul Shards up here at their disposal. Now, when you use a Soul Shard, such as Haunt is an ability that uses a Soul Shard, I'm going to lose one. Now, if you look at your Corruption gives you a chance to gain a Soul Shard. Okay, so that's why you want your Corruption spread also. More damage plus the chance to get you your Soul Shards back. Now, when you're trying to spread a lot of damage, your ability when you use your Soul Burn with your Haunt spell also increases the damage of your damage over time effects to all targets by 20% for 30 seconds. Very, very important to keep that up. Okay, so if I was just to regularly do it, the target that it's on is going to take 30% more damage, right? But if I use my Soul Burn Haunt, all targets are going to be affected by it by 20%. So it's very important to use that ability. So a lot of times, let's say I'm spreading some dots. I'm not going to spread all my dots. Let's say I'm spreading dots here and I'm getting my targets up with my abilities. That's probably enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, Haunt, and as you can see, all the dot damage is going to be increased by 20%. So it's when you're in RPGs or something, or you're trying to push pressure in 3s, it's a super important thing to be able to spread that damage. Now, if I'm trying to maintain one-on-one pressure, if I'm trying to focus one target, what I'll do is, you can simply just Soul Burn and get all dots up on targets, but I'm not worried about that. It's not as good unless you're trying to be really bursty, which you can go here, and all your dots are going to be up there, right? Your Haunt, you don't have a Haunt, but you burn through 2 Soul Shards just to do that. So it's kind of a give and take depending on the situation if you want to do that. Your Soul Swap ability after you Soul Burn is the ability that will put all the dots onto it. But what I like to do is when I'm not trying to put a giant amount of pressure, just trying to burst all cooldowns right in the beginning, I'll place my dots on the target, I'll go ahead and I'll Haunt, and then I'll just simply Drain Soul. And what that does is it puts a lot of one-on-one pressure onto the target. Now that doesn't mean I can't have other dots running, it just means I'm focused on this target. Now, things to remember, your Dark Soul ability, which increases your haste by 30% for 20 seconds, is a really important spell to be using. You have this spell, your Resolve, is a great spell to be using, and a lot of people seem to forget this spell. It's a 3-minute cooldown. It's one of your powerful defensive cooldowns. It reduces all damage taken by 40%, and you're going to be immune to your intercepts or silences or anything for 8 seconds. So that's 8 seconds of free casting pretty much. You're going to be doing really, really well. Just stand there and burn them up, you know, so you're going to be doing really good in that situation. So there's some add-ons and stuff that you guys can use, you know, like some mouse overs. Sometimes people like to use mouse overs and things like that, but, you know, I don't want to get into that too much. It's an 11-minute video. I'm going to cut it short, and actually there's one last thing that I do want to talk about before I go. Your sacrifice ability here, a lot of people think if I don't have my supremacy for my pet that I can't use my ability here, but I can still use my spell lock here. Okay, it's still an ability that I can still use on the target. It's not that I don't have it anymore. It's just when I sacrifice my pet, depending on what pet I have out or depending on what pet I sacrifice, I still have the ability to use this. Now, let's say I have my Voidwalker out though. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to soul lock with my Voidwalker out because it changes what it does. If I sacrifice it, you know, I still have that ability to get like a little last stand from warriors type of deal. So depending on what pet you have out, depending on is what ability you're going to be able to use. Okay, so hopefully this let me actually, it's right here. Let me do it. There we go. So it's like a little last stand, right? If you look at your health and you pop it, you get a lot more health. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully this PvP video helped you guys out. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say I'm a rank 1 gladiator. I have been PvPing for this season on the Affliction Warlock, and, you know, we are doing very well. I feel very strong. I've played Destro, and I've also played Affliction, and I feel Destro is probably better in maybe a 2 situation rather than a 3s. But I feel Affliction's better in 2s. Not that you can't do 2s as Affliction, because, you know, we can do a lot of damage really fast, or we can spread it out and let you melt. Alright guys, so like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully it helped you out. Hopefully you learned something. If you have some info for me, leave it in the comments, because people will be reading the comments. And if you have some great information about the Affliction Warlock, let's all grow together so we can dot people and kill each other, right? You're an Affliction, I'm an Affliction, let's kill each other real quick. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys later.